Part 1 The Books of the Bible. The Books of the Bible. These are nothing but names which ye have devised, ye and your fathers, for which God has sent down no authority whatsoever. Quran 53:23. The books of the Bible are divided by the Christians into two main parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. The books of the Old Testament are claimed to have been received through the prophets who were prior to the prophet Jesus, the Messiah. The books of the New Testament are believed to have been written through inspiration after Jesus. All the books of the Old and the New Testament together are called Bible. Bible is a Greek word which means book. Both the testaments are further subdivided into two parts. The first part of the Old Testament is believed to be authentic by almost all the ancient Christians, while the authenticity of the other parts is held to be doubtful and controversial. The first division of the Old Testament. This collection comprises of 38 books. 1. Genesis. The book of Genesis describes the creation of the earth's skies and gives an historical account of the prophets Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac and Joseph. The book ends with the death of the prophet Joseph. This is also called the book of creation. 2. Exodus. Exodus is mainly a description of the life of the prophet Moses. It includes the teachings of Moses, his altercations with Pharaoh, Pharaoh's drowning in the sea and the oral communication of God with Moses. It ends with the Israelites camping in the desert of Sinai. It is called Exodus because it describes the event of the Israelites' exodus from Egypt. Izhar the truth revealed. 3. Leviticus. Part 1 The Books of the Bible. Leviticus is a collection of the injunctions and laws given to the Israelites during their wanderings in the desert of Sinai. It has 27 chapters. 4. Numbers. The book of Number includes events of the census of the Israelites, their history before their departure to the Canaan and the injunctions of the prophet Moses revealed to him by the bank of the river Jordan. It contains 36 chapters. 5. Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy is a collection of those events and injunctions which took place from after the period of the book of Numbers to the death of Moses. It contains 34 chapters. The collection of these 5 books together is called the Pentateuch or Torah. This is a Hebrew word meaning the law. The word is also occasionally used to mean the Old Testament in general. 6. The book of Joshua. The book of Joshua is ascribed to the prophet Joshua, son of Nun, who was the reliable servant and minister of Moses. He was made the prophet of Israelites after the death of Moses. He made war on the Amalekites and was victorious over them. This book describes his life up to the time of his death. It contains 24 chapters. 7. The book of Judges. The book of Judges covers the period after the death of Joshua. This period is called the period of the Judges, because, due to their transgression and wickedness, God set cruel, foreign kings over them to punish them until they returned to God and repented their sins. Then some leaders were raised up among them and came to their rescue. These Israelite leaders were known as the Judges. It has 21 chapters. 8. The book of Ruth. The book of Ruth describes events in the life of a woman of Moab called Ruth. She was the mother of Obed, the grandfather of the prophet David. She migrated to Bethlehem and married Boaz. They bore a child, Obed. His son was Jesse, who was the father of the prophet David. It has only 4 chapters. 9. The first book of Samuel. The first book of Samuel concerns the prophet Samuel, who was the last of the judges of Israelites. Samuel was made king of the Israelites in his period. It also includes the killing of Goliath by David and other incidents up until the death of Samuel. It has 31 chapters. Izhar the truth revealed. 10. The second book of Samuel. The second book of Samuel describes the events after the death of Saul. It includes the kingship of David and his war against the sons of Saul. It has 24 chapters. 11. The first book of Kings. The first book of Kings begins with the old age of David and includes the events of his death, the reign of the prophet Solomon, his death and the lives of his sons up until the death of Ahab. The prophet Elijah's descriptions is also included. It has 22 chapters. 12. The second book of Kings. The second book of Kings includes the events from the death of Ahab to the reign of Zedekiah. The prophets Elijah and Josiah are also mentioned. It has 25 chapters. 13. Chronicles. Chronicles 1 comprises genealogies from Adam to Solomon. It also includes short historical accounts leading up until the time of David and gives details of David's reign over the Israelites. It contains 36 chapters. 14. Chronicles 2. Chronicles 11 describes Solomon's rule in detail and also gives a short account of various kings after Solomon up until the reign of Zedekiah. The invasion of Nebuchadnezzar is also covered at the end. 15. The first book of Ezra. Ezra I describes the reconstruction of Jerusalem by Cyrus the king of Persia after the invasion of Nebuchadnezzar. It also mentions the exile of Ezra and return of the Israelites from Babylon to their homeland. It contains 10 chapters. 16. The second book of Ezra. Ezra II is also called the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a cupbearer of Artaxerxes the king of Persia. When he learnt about the destruction of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar, he sought the king's permission and came to Jerusalem. He reconstructed it with the help of Ezra. This book describes all these events and the names of those who helped in rebuilding Jerusalem. These events took place in 445 BC. It contains 13 chapters. 17. The book of Job. The book of Job is said to be by the prophet Job, whose patience and forbearance are also acknowledged and praised by the Holy Quran. He was Izhar ul-Haq, the truth revealed. 1-3. Born in Uz, a city to the cast of the Dead Sea. The book mainly consists of conversations between Job and his 3 friends Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shubite, Zophar the Naamathite, who insist that the calamities of Job are the result of his sins, while Job refutes this. This book is held to be of great literary merit. It contains 42 chapters. 18. The book of Psalms. The book of Psalms is the corrupt form of the book of which the Holy Quran says, "We have given the Zabur to Dawood." The book is a collection of 150 songs, or songs of praise, to God. 19. The book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is a collection of the exhortations and proverbs of the prophet Solomon. The Christians claim that this book was compiled by Solomon himself. Kings 1 says, "And he spoke 3,000 proverbs." 4:23. It contains 31 chapters. 20. The book of Ecclesiastes. The book of Ecclesiastes is also called the book of the preacher. It said the name of one of the sons of David was the preacher. It begins with these words, "The words of the preacher, the son of David." 1. The book is a collection of exhortations and advices. 21. The book of the Song of Solomon. The book of the Song of Solomon is said to be a collection of songs which were composed by Solomon, of which the book of Kings says, "He spoke 3,000 proverbs and his songs were 1,005. It has 8 chapters. 22. The book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah is ascribed to the prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz, who was advisor to Hezekiah, the king of Judah, in the 8th century BC. When Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, invaded Jerusalem, Isaiah was of great help to Hezekiah, the king of Judah. This book is a collection of his visions and predictions of future events. These predictions, according to the Christinas, were made by Isaiah in the reigns of the kings Azariah, Jotham and Hezekiah. It has 66 chapters. This book contains many passages of great literary merit. 23. The book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah was an apostle and pupil of the prophet Isaiah. God made him a prophet in the days of Joshua or Zedekiah. He was sent to the Israelites to prevent them from their perversion. He preached to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him. God revealed to him that Israelites would soon be subjected to Izhar ul-Haq, the truth revealed, a punishment from God in the form of an invasion by Nebuchadnezzar. Jeremiah warned them of this and advised them to surrender, but they mocked him. In the end, Jerusalem was totally destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar. The prophet Jeremiah migrated to Egypt. According to some scholars, the Holy Quran refers to this incident in Surah 2:259. It has 56 chapters. 24. The book of Lamentations. The book of Lamentations is a collection of songs of mourning which are said to have been compiled by the prophet Jeremiah after the destruction of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar. It has only 5 chapters. 25. The book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel is claimed to be by the prophet Ezekiel, the son of Buzi. He was a descendant of Levi, the son of Jacob. He fought bravely against Nebuchadnezzar. This book is said to be a collection of his revelations, which consists of predictions, exhortations and warnings to the people about God's judgment on them and about the coming fall and destruction of Jerusalem. 26. The book of Daniel. The prophet Daniel was among the wise people who were exiled from Judah and were taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar. The interpretations of some dreams of the king were made clear by him through revelations, and the king made him the governor of Babylon. It also includes the dreams of the prophet Daniel regarding the future of the Israelites. These dreams also contain a prophecy about the advent of Jesus, the Messiah. It has 12 chapters. 27 The Book of Hosea. Hosea was one of the prophets of the Israelites. He is said to have lived in the period of Jotham, Azariah and Hezekiah, the kings of Judah. This book is said to have been revealed to him during the period of their reigns. The book mostly consists of his admonitions to the Israelites against their perversion. His revelations are mostly in the form of proverbs or in symbolic language. It consists of 14 chapters. 28 The Book of Joel. The Torah Pentateuch claims that Joel was a prophet of God. This book, which has only 3 chapters, consists of his revelations and includes injunctions about fasting and warnings against the evil deeds of the Israelites. 29 The Book of Amos. Amos is also said to be a prophet. In the beginning he was a shepherd in the city of Tekoa. He was made prophet by God in circa 783 BC. The 9 chapters of this book are said to have been revealed to him in the reign of King Azariah. Izhar ul-Haq, The Truth Revealed. 1-5. This book comprises his admonitions to the Israelites on account of their evil deeds. The book also predicts the invasion of Jerusalem by the king of Assyria as a punishment from God, which is mentioned in Genesis 29:15. 30 The Book of Obadiah. This small scripture consists of only 21 verses and includes a dream of Obadiah the prophet. There are some predictions regarding the defeat of Adam, the enemy of Judah. 31 The Book of Jonah. This book is said to have been revealed to the prophet Jonah. He was sent to the people of Nineveh. The story given by Torah is a little different from the one known by the Muslims. 32 The Book of Micah. This book is said to be from the prophet Micah, the Morashite, who was a prophet in the period of the king Hezekiah circa 900 BC. He warned the Israelites of God's wrath on account of their perversion. The king, Hezekiah, acknowledged his prophethood and abstained from evil deeds. KGs. 32, 26, 33 The Book of Nahum. Nahum is also regarded as a prophet by the Torah. Very little is known about his life. This book of 3 chapters describes a dream of Nahum which includes predictions of the downfall of the city of Nineveh. 34 The Book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk is also claimed to be a prophet by the Torah. We are not definite about his period. The Torah seems to put him in the period before Nebuchadnezzar's invasion of Jerusalem. This book mentions of his dreams which admonishes the Israelites on their evil deeds and predicts the destruction of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar. It has 3 chapters. 35 The Book of Zephaniah. Zephaniah is also supposed to be a prophet who was ordained by God to prophethood in the period of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah. This script of 3 chapters warns the people of Israel against the invasion of Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar. 36 The Book of Haggai. The script of 2 chapters is attributed to prophet Haggai, who lived in the time of Darius, the king of Persia, in 500 BC, after the invasion of Nebuchadnezzar. He urged the Israelites to rebuild Jerusalem and warned those who obstructed them. Izhar ul-Haq, The Truth Revealed. 37 The Book of Zechariah. Zechariah was also a prophet. It should be noted here that this Zechariah is not the one who was been mentioned in the Holy Quran. He is said to be a companion of the prophet Haggai at the time of the rebuilding of Jerusalem. This book consists mostly of dreams which include prophecies regarding the future of the Israelites and the coming of the prophet Jesus. It has 14 chapters. 38 The Book of Malachi. The Book of Malachi is ascribed to the prophet Malachi. He is the last prophet of the Old Testament. The book has 4 chapters and describes the thanklessness of the Israelites. The prophet Malachi lived about 420 years before the prophet Jesus, the Messiah. These 30 cheat books are believed to be genuine and authentic by almost all the Christian. The Samaritans, however, a sect of the Jews, believed in only 7 of them, the 5 books of Moses and the book of Joshua son of Nun and the book of Judges. Their name refers to the city of Samaria in Palestine. They differ from the Jews in 2 points: the acknowledged number of the books and what constitutes a place of worship. The second division of the Old Testament. There are 9 books in this part. The authenticity of these books has been a point of controversy among Christians. The Protestant faith, for instance, does not acknowledge the divine origin of these books, and they have discarded them from their Bible. They do not form part of the King James Version of the Bible. The collection of these 9 books and 5 other books together called Apocrypha. 1. The Book of Esther. Esther was a Jewish woman who was among the captives from Jerusalem in Babylon. Ahasuerus, the king of Persia, was unhappy with his first wife and married Esther. A man, a minister of the king, had some differences with Mardochæus, the father of the Queen Esther. He plotted to destroy the Jews. Esther convinced the king to combat this plot and saved the Jews. This book describes this event in 10 chapters. 2. The Book of Baruch. Baruch was disciple and scribe of the prophet Jeremiah, Jer. 32. 13-36, 364, 32, 43, 3-16.45, 1-3. The Protestant Bible does not include this book. Izhar ul-Haq, the Truth Revealed.